Hello and welcome, folks, to another edition of RSF Radio. I am your host, Joe Monday, and tonight I have a very special guest coming off a hot win from Street Fighter League. It's Rob Take the Throw TV. How you doing, man?
Yo, what's going on, bro? I feel amazing right now, man.
You should, honestly. I think you should. I think you had a pretty good performance. It was week one of SFL today, so I think it was good. So for people who are used to getting the show early morning on Thursdays, we waited until after the show today to have this conversation and get this episode out, because I think there's a lot to talk about after your pretty strong showing. Before we do that, though, I like to throw it over to the guest at the start of the show, and you pitch whatever you have going on right now. So if there's something you want to get out, like if you've got a stream going, if you've got a YouTube channel, anything you have going on. I mean, we know you have the SFL going on, and we'll lead into that. Yeah. But if there's anything on your radar right now that you want to put out there, let the people know.
I definitely would say, since we're esports, these Twitter followers and all that type of stuff matter. So if you can follow your boy, if you look at RobTV on Twitter, I'll pop up. But my handle is actually like RobTeevee, even though that's not how my actual tag is spelled. Mm-hmm. And, just look up RobTV Gaming on YouTube. I'm heavy on like YouTube content creation and RobTV Live on Twitch. But outside of me, I just want to make sure I give a big shout out to players like El Chicote, Mike Too Strong, Brian F, Just a Kid. The list is long, but I definitely always try to go out of my way to show love and help shine light on my Midwest homies, just as they would do for me.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm for that. All those players. I think they deserve more coverage than they probably get as is. Speaking of Mike Too Strong, by the way, and also El Chicote, because this is applicable to him last year, but our Street Fighter player sponsorships the voting period will end at noon Friday, which is like tomorrow. There's only a couple hours left if you're listening to this episode right now. Mike Too Strong is in second place right now, behind Didi Mokov.
He made it to second?
He's in second right now.
Let's go, Mike!
We might see your boy out there. I'm excited about. I don't vote. I recuse myself from voting. But if I would, I'm going to vote for that Zank. I'm going to vote for that Zank.
You got to, bro.
Of course,
you got to.
But that's just my bias showing. But you're biased towards all those players out in the Midwest. I'm for that. But you have something else going on right now. Something a little bit more prescient to talk about, because we just watched the episode. Street Fighter League week. I guess they're calling this week 2, but this really feels like week 1.
It's really like the first, because now we actually have matches and everything instead of just the draft. Yeah, right. So this is really like the kickoff. And dude, like outside of my own, well, I guess we'll get into it. Go ahead. We get into it.
Yeah, I just want to talk about your experience with it, because the last week was the little bit of drama with the choosing player. Not a whole lot of drama choosing players, honestly. It was, in my opinion, last week was kind of bland, and I was kind of bummed out that they didn't give as much credence to the drafted players. It was, here's the team leaders, and it did pretty good coverage of who those people were, to people who might be watching who aren't familiar with their play, but didn't necessarily give a whole lot of details on like any other of the players on the couch.
It seemed like it was like really focused on the captains as far as really showing personality and things of that nature. Yeah,
which is fine if they're planning on spreading that out throughout the course of however many weeks this is going to go for. Because I don't know if there's been a schedule posted.
Oh yeah, as far as the actual airtime.
Yeah, is it just every week?
Every Thursday. So it's gonna be every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, they definitely focus on the captains a lot. I think that I personally would imagine that that's because they're. Well, I would imagine when they're casting this, they don't know who's going to win the online tournaments, so they're not really casting that part. Right. They don't know who's going to win the fan vote. So to me, banking on especially Punk, Justin Wong, and Knuckle Doo.
Mm-hmm.
bringing in viewers and things of that nature.
Right.
But I definitely, like I said, I'm really happy with how everything is, shot and all that. But I definitely know what you mean as far as, they're really just focused on the captains in the first episode.
Yeah, I guess that's not all that surprising, because in terms of play, the people who were chosen through the online and through fan voting I guess there's not like a story yet around them. I think y'all have a good story to tell. Like, I could tell a story about every single one of y'all. But like
stories. That's the weird thing though. Like, remember the E-League? Do you remember like there was not the TV show, but the actual E-League, and they had it like the average Joe versus the pro or something like that.
yeah.
But see, that's the thing. That's like they're calling, like, to people who know, obviously, like, to say, oh yeah, RobTV Online Warrior, Shine Online Warrior, like online warrior. That's really not true. Like, obviously we're strong tournament players, but I guess, it looks interesting for, I guess, casuals who don't really follow the scene, I suppose.
I guess. But it's like, seeing Up to Snuff being characterized as like, oh, he's the online warrior. I'm like, yo, I watched this dude fuck up Mago like 2 years ago. What are you talking about? Like,
yeah, like, we're obviously like legitimate strong players in the country. So.
Yeah, clearly. It's just that, like, maybe coverage to these well, now that Up to Snuff is out on the West Coast, I've seen him a lot more now, actually, on
you know how that goes
in online spaces. But like, he used to be like, Lucky D used to promote the shit out of him. But like, shout outs to Lucky D and Traveling Controller, by the way.
And that scene in general, I really love that scene.
Oh yeah,
that's where Burkish and everyone's at, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah, I love that scene.
Yeah, they do a really good. The thing is, I think they do a great job promoting themselves and promoting their events and doing that shit. But if you guys haven't heard of Lucky D and Traveling Controller, then you're missing out. There's some good shit.
Definitely.
But enough about them. What about you and your experience with the Street Fighter League? I guess I haven't asked you this question yet, and I don't know how much you can say, but what was your experience with this in the filming thereof?
Okay, so
break kayfabe here.
This is very like petty right here, right? But so when we got there, I'm excited, like, everything's good and some announcements, and then like I see these cool ass jackets only for the captains. Oh, so I'm immediately salty because those jackets are so cool. Their names on it and everything like that. So at that point, I'm like, oh, that goddamn, my Hollywood factor kicks in. I'm just like, damn, this is starting off on a bad foot. I need to body some folks or something. But no, in all seriousness, like, they really treat us really well out there. And Michael Martin's out there, so Mama Dow and everything. So there's like people that we know well from going to tournaments and everything. Right. One thing I was heavy on is, I guess you guys see it now, the production actually looks really good.
Yeah.
Studio, when I seen that studio, I'm like, damn, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it looks real good. Lights all in the stage and the commentator booth. It's all looking good. It's probably hard heavy. It's hard to, I guess it's kind of hard to tell of like how big that space is. It was at least interesting to me to see that space where the players are playing against each other. They got Rip on mic in front of like another screen, and then they take it to like the quote unquote green room, and y'all are just like hanging out on a patio.
Yeah, dude. We had so much fun out there, man. I have like vlogs that are gonna be coming out soon. Like, I have so much like behind the scenes stuff. It's actually mad hilarious. Okay. And another thing I'll say is I'm so happy with the scene is like when we did the Challenger, the reality TV show, like at first when it was announced, a lot of support, but there's a lot of people who are negative as well, right? And my thing is, like, even when it comes to this or that, my thing is how helpful these things are for all of us, even if you aren't the one that's a part of it directly. That's like Justin Wong right now has like a billion sponsors,
right?
Like personal sponsors. I'm genuinely happy and grateful. I'm grateful. Outside of just happy for him, I'm grateful as well because he's bringing those eyeballs in. And I hate to use the term trickle down because of the political implications, but you know, that sort of thing can just look good on the scene overall. Mm-hmm. So I have been really happy to see that throughout Twitter and everything. It looks like people are really supporting the Street Fighter League so far.
Yeah. No,
that's made me happy.
I would agree with that. Instead of, maybe not trickle down, but I like to say it's a rising tide that raises all ships in this situation.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah,
because because watching someone like Justin get that many opportunities from like that many spots. It's like I didn't check, but is it
now?
He's like broken 100 sponsors at this point? I don't know if like
he said broken 100.
If like broken 3. It's like I think he's looking for 10. I think that's what his
right now.
his sweet spot was in the last interview that he did. I forget where I heard him say that. Regardless, I agree with you that seeing things like this and opportunities being taken and risks being taken on things like this, because when this was announced, oh boy, this was lampooned by the community in a lot of ways. I don't know if you were even part of that, of people saying that they don't like the format, the banning is no good.
Character ban. And see, I love the character ban, dude. I see why people have an issue, but now, of course, obviously, I play multiple characters, right. So it doesn't really affect me if somebody ban any of my characters. But at the same time, I think from a spectator standpoint and just from a there was way more strategy behind it. Mm-hmm. Since we had to choose our player order, without knowing our opponent's player order,
right? And
we had to choose our character ban without knowing our opponent's character ban. So that added another layer to it. And another thing, as far as the format, people haven't really talked about this yet, but the fact that we did, at first I was tight that we weren't doing Pokemon style, which, for those who don't know, Pokemon style just being if you win, you stay on, you get one life, that sort of thing. I like this style that we did. I think it's called Waseda or something like that.
Okay. Because I saw people confused about in the chat. They were like, what, when it doesn't stay? This is strange. What's going on?
You know what? That gives the opportunity for everyone to show their stuff no matter what.
Right.
So I really like that as far as like airtime and everything. Like imagine that's like with our match against Team Spirit.
That actually ended up benefiting you guys a lot.
Yeah, that was really good. For our guys to get those first 2 wins, but then now Sean OCV'd or something like that. You're not saying he would or wouldn't have, but then now there's less of a chance for one thing that could suck if you did Pokemon style. Let's imagine, for example, that is everyone and I'm not getting to play, and then in week 7 it finally comes down to me.
Right.
It's Punk and I lost.
Yeah, then only people would know you for is that loss. They wouldn't know.
I didn't even get a chance to. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I actually like this the way that it's built, and I think it makes every player on the team even more important.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's something that I guess I hadn't thought about until you had just mentioned it, but that actually does give a lot of credence just by to all the other players who aren't the leaders, just by having them get more airtime. So I agree with that. It's a thing that I hadn't thought about. No, that's cool. So obviously we have just watched episode 1 of the week 1, week 2, but whatever you want to call it. Your team won your set against Team Punk.
Oh no, Justin.
Oh, Team Justin. Sorry about that. Yeah, I got that all switched up in my brain. It was Punk versus Nephew's team.
Yeah.
Regardless, good show, by the way. You did well. The character bans and the player order benefited your team, I think. It was nice to see Vicious and Steve getting all excited, getting riled up in that set. And then Justin has to hold that L until next
yeah. Week. And it's a double round robin, so we do play every team twice. So, of course it'll be way later on, but that's a nice thing too. Like there's gonna be run backs with everyone, which is cool. About it, but man, I'll tell you what. After when it came down to the end, and it was like me and Justin, and obviously like I still had two guys behind me. Justin was by himself, but at the same time, there's the pressure. Like I don't know if people play like if anyone listening plays bowling or plays bowling, if they bowl at all, but it's like if everyone got to strike that frame. And now it's your turn. Right. It's like if you miss it, then you gotta like buy everyone drinks or something like that. Like that's how they do it. Like my dad's bowling, bowling league. Right. So I'm like, man, I gotta get this damn W right now. And whether I win or lose, the Twitch chat is gonna talk trash like they do. They talk trash about everybody. Of course, there's some people showing love, but there's a few people gonna talk no matter what. But I was like, I don't want to give these guys the satisfaction of being the only loss. So I was really happy to pull that out.
Right.
Definitely had to give the throws out. Had to give out the throws, Joe. You know what I mean?
You had to let the people know. You had to let the people know.
I had to throw every time. And people don't know this, man. Justin only DP. Like people notice the throws, but Justin DP one time that set and I blocked it. My reads are on point. I went for a throw and he like jumped. Yeah. I don't know where I got in this zone. I went for a throw. He jumped back in the corner on his wake up. And I whiff throw and then air to air target combo.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that one got picked up on by the commentators there. It was a sick moment that people got hyped for.
I have never done that before.
Oh really?
I'm dead serious. I swear to goodness. I don't know why. Like I reacted to it and did that consciously, but I don't know like why that happened. I don't know. I guess my hands just did it. And I was like mad weird.
Ultra instinct RobTV.
Yeah. Hopefully I didn't use it all up in the first episode though. But I'm definitely happy. I'm definitely happy with how the first one went. And outside of myself and our team, like come on, man. Can we talk about Toy?
Yeah.
Man, what? That dude is hilarious, bro.
Yeah, he's making jokes the whole time. Like that whole that's just real good. That shit's real good, honestly.
Yeah. That pop off was just like we're actually, our team like do actually posted a video. Like our team is actually in there in the studio. We're not out in the patio when that match is happening. So we're just sitting there, and all of a sudden we just see Toy do a somersault on the ground to the other team setup, and he jumped up in the air right in front of them, dude. Like. That was unbelievable. Like, oh my God.
Nah, it was. I think that this is allowing for moments like that, which are, I don't know, like we're laughing and talking about it, and like there is a tournament this weekend. There's the mix up in France, but at the same time, like I don't know, I feel like this type of intimate player conversations don't necessarily get to happen on the CPT. But now it's like, I don't know, it's fun for me to see Punk ban Nakali and be like, yo, this up to snuff guy, fuck him.
Yeah. He said he should be the captain. I love when they asked Punk, they said, so are you worried about anyone on the other team? He said no. He said, so there's nobody. No. He's like, can you beat all of them? He said, yes. Yep.
That's it.
I'm like, that's too good.
Yeah, that was funny just to hear him curtly just say yes, no, very briefly, just be like, nah, confidence in my answer here.
Yeah, no, that's godlike, man. And and the team thing in general, Joe, like. It's just different. That's like like Red Bull. We all love Red Bull. Like. As far as the tournaments they put on for us, like Proving Grounds, when we had the team tournaments, it was all Street Fighter. That was so hype. So with Street Fighter League, us having the team tournaments, it's a completely different dynamic because you're, like just the interaction is different. I love playing solo. That's my favorite, of course. But it's interesting, like trying not to let your teammates down and coaching each other, hyping each other up and all of that. And I think it's more interesting. I would argue that it's more interesting from a spectator standpoint. And I think the FGC could grow into a bigger esport if we have more team tournaments.
I believe that I agree with you. I think that this was talked about on an episode like somewhere between 5 and 10 weeks ago. I don't know how time works, but I had Dustin Steiner on, who's like coming from a different perspective of like other esports who have like quote unquote made it and are much larger than the FGC. And I think that team format, and like his argument was that team formats are good. You can tell a lot of different player stories, and I mean, I think that's coming through. I mean, that was the case in the Gfinity series in the UK. I think that's true for Red Bull Proving Grounds, and I think that's true here as well. It's nice to see them take this risk, and then I don't know, like I think it's paying off, and I think they're doing a good job in production. I'm interested to see where it goes next week. Again, I'd like to see a little bit more coverage of the non-team leaders, but other than that, I'm pretty pleased with it so far.
You know, like I always, you know, I think a lot about the business side of the FGC, which is almost a meme to even say business side of FGC because we barely, you know, have one right now. But
okay, go ahead.
But for what we do have, it's like you see so many sponsors. You know, we're just getting into the real talk, like.
Right.
There's so many sponsors who we see like come into the FGC, leave, you know, have a hard time turning a profit, whatever have you. I think that for one, obviously, you know, this is another conversation. Like content creation is important for players, especially for top players, as far as trying to get these teams return on investment. But outside of that, I think it's a lot easier for when I look at Optic, for example, in the shooting games, you know, Call of Duty and all that. Mm-hmm. Like even if a player is with them, or even if a player leaves, they stay Optic. I feel like if I have X top player in the FGC and they join a team and they leave a team, the fans go with the player a lot of times. Right. Like people are more fans of the player and they don't really look at the teams as a collective, the team and the player as a collective. And I also think that's an issue of a lot of these short-term contracts and everything, so there's not enough time to build brand identity. Yeah. But I think that the team thing, man, like imagine if we had like right now we got Street Fighter League, but imagine if this was Team Echo Fox versus Team Panda Global versus Team whatever Hori or something like that. And at that point, I think it will be easier for teams to get a return on investment on what they're putting into the scene.
Right, you get like Team UIU, Team Echo Fox, all them out there being front. Like I somewhat agree with that. It's one of those things where historically you look at what the FGC has been, and it's like player to player. At the end of the day, that's the thing though. At the end of the day, the CPT will be the CPT. Like that's not going anywhere. There's still too many tournaments to watch each week. Like. Each week, each month, there's at least one, if not two premieres, and there's a ranking event every single week. Like that's a lot of fighting games. That's a lot.
So that's doing perfectly fine. It doesn't hurt to add something else to it.
Yeah, in my opinion, it would be something along the lines of like, it would have to be like very invitational based. There would have to be, I don't know. I feel like there would have to be some kind of. See, I was going to say outside money come in to run the league, but at the same time, it would almost have to be Capcom sponsored, but it would be hard to see them go after this as well. I don't know, and still try to stay global because it's not, I guess that's a problem too, is that the fighting game community is so global, whereas I don't know.
It's rough to spread it everywhere. But I mean, we got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
that's like so like right now, like I wish that we had Canada.
Yeah, honestly,
yeah, like I would have loved to see Brutus or Cero Blast or whatever in Street Fighter League.
Yeah, but also like I would have loved to have seen Capcom Fighters promote the Street Fighter League in Japan. Like that is over and done with. Like they had their own league. with like their own ups and downs.
Powered by rage and everything.
Yeah, as like they had a similar thing last year. It wasn't called the Street Fighter League, but Rage did a whole team tournament thing last year that also didn't really get a whole lot of coverage in the States. But again, like there was drama and player stories to tell, and it was an interesting format. They did a whole different format this year. Doc Fugu covered all of it, and you can read up all that stuff and catch up on the highlights on his website. But like that didn't get a lot of promotion through Capcom. So is it like,
or at least through Capcom USA? So you think it's like so you think there's not a lot of cross promotion between the East and the West?
Yeah, or even for like even for the Street Fighter League. Like how many times have I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing promotion for the Street Fighter League now, which is like it is happening now. I'm seeing it. But like during the online qualifiers or for voting or for what the rules even are, like the video of the rules wasn't even posted until it was already
we were
done.
Already yeah that was mad funny. I was wondering when I saw that, I was like, man, did somebody like forget to hit the button?
Yeah, like and like they just hit private and went, man, there's no views on this, that's weird. Like fucking
yeah, that was mad funny. But you know, it's the first season, you know, so like I said, I think that I've had with people, I think that they're learning a whole lot from this time. Like I'm glad that they even got it off the ground. Like one of the things I noticed, like when we did the Challenger, you had like Alienware, Cheez-Its, you know, all this stuff like that sponsoring. Yeah. But when you look at this at Street Fighter League, I really just see like Capcom.
Yeah, if they are just using Capcom money, and also something. So
that's beautiful.
Something to think about this as well that I don't think has like been talked about in the meta, but Andy Wong, who was like their front-facing guy for promotional stuff, he left the company for Marvel, kind of around the start of Street Fighter League promotion time, or like where it would be in the run-up, and it was like very quickly that he left for Capcom for this other job, and his position has not been filled. So I wonder if things have just been shifting around inside of
probably
Capcom.
Some moving parts right now.
Yeah, and I feel like
that's a possibility.
Yeah, like Michael Martin and Mama Dow stepping up to maybe fill roles that they haven't been in the past, or if they're even looking to fill that position, I don't know. But with that said, they've kind of picked it up a little bit now. Like we're moving.
They really have. They've been killing it. Whoever's doing the social media, like Capcom social media, their Twitter's been killing it during this. Since Street Fighter League has been, you know, since it's been going, they've been retweeting, you know, posting stuff, different like pictures and whatnot. So you know they're doing really good right now. So Street Fighter League looks like it's in a good place.
Yeah, they're up on their engagement. So I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like kind of like sour faced about it. Where I'm like, man, where was this stuff like months ago in the lead up? Like, let's get this shit out there so people like know about it. Like. I mean, and this is cool that you're doing it now, but it's like I'm like kicking the dirt. Like, dang,
I'm hoping that I might message him. I'm hoping High Fight does clips and whatnot from Street Fighter League.
Oh, I guarantee he's on that. Like,
High Fight's so important, man. I love his account.
He's a blessing. We need to take out like a life insurance policy on High Fight because that man is too important to the fighting game community.
Seriously. Yeah, like High Fight that's the goal right there.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I guarantee he's on that right now. I mean, even though he's probably supposed to be asleep, he probably stays.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
He'll watch this shit tomorrow.
Probably editing away, or he'll be on it first thing in the morning.
But anyway, that's what you've got going on with Street Fighter League. Is there anything else that you're like able to talk about, or things about the league that people might not know about that are little interesting bits of information?
There's some interesting stuff, but I'm trying to think if there's anything.
Like I'm sure there's stuff that you're like, I cannot talk about it because of
yes,
either behind the scenes or like just business stuff that's just because of it.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna risk it. If I think of anything, I'll bring it up later.
That's fine. We'll keep that in the after show, which will not be recorded. Don't want to break kayfabe here on live on podcast, definitely. Which is like not actually alive. Anyway, no, that's cool. And it seems that people are excited about it. I see a lot of engagement in other places. So at the same time, I do see a lot of people saying it sucks that we can't see people's primary character. We're seeing these secondaries that aren't as strong. People say that. But, like, again, like, Nephew wasn't the player who got nerfed in that set.
Yeah, there's one. The thing is, there's one ban per match. Like, as far as you can only ban one. So that means that the overwhelming majority of the matches will not have a character ban.
Right.
It's still very important, especially because usually you're trying to nerf who you think is the biggest threat on the other team. But the thing is, they have the opportunity to do so as well. So it's not just one-sided. Right. Now, of course, in some situations like Adam or Toy, like where they're really just known for one character, then that's really, that's a rough situation.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And again, this is like just after the kickoff. So we're all like, it's still fresh. I think you had a good performance. I think that the coverage of you got talked up on the mic, which was nice to hear. And we're all good. But other than that, what do you got planned? Because the CPT it's moving right now. We're in it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, obviously it's rough out here in these unsponsored streets.
Yeah.
So definitely grinding, trying to do everything I can to get to these events. Well,
I mean, you mentioned it, so let's get into it, because sponsorship has been something that was the hot button issue last week, and people have been talking about it. But
yeah,
you said something. Here's the other thing. Actually, let's reel this back, because I feel like anytime that and just historically speaking, I feel like whenever you step up to a mic and there are people listening, you say something that shakes people's foundation, and they go, there are arguments that happen immediately following after whatever.
Big on Twitter and everything.
Yeah, whatever the fuck you
bro,
say.
I don't know. That's interesting. Like, I like when I say these things or when I go and have these conversations, I'll never intentionally like, oh, let me go and try to make a big Twitter moment. I'm genuine. That's like in that situation, like, for those who don't know what happened, basically, we were over in California. There's a lot. Basically, we're over there for Street Fighter League. I went over to Wednesday night fights, and it was me, Dual, Kevin, and just a kid, Midwest guys. And, we're talking trash to Cali. They're talking trash back. Friendly. We're all good friends, Yeah. But of course, there's regional pride. So we want to have, a money match. Kev is actually the one, Dual Kevin's the one who actually, was pressed the idea at first. And we're like, all right. So I asked Unc, or, Vi, Uncle Vi. So I asked Unc, like, yo, can you put this on stream? And he said he could put it on stream for us. And what ensued was Kev ended up going first, it's Pokemon style. And Kev ended up just washing everybody. The other team was it was Pinoy, Stupendous, and Commander Jesse. And Kev beat everybody, which, shout out to those guys. But we get our bragging rights right now, okay, Cali? We earned that. So, he washed them. Yeah, he washed them. But afterwards, immediately, I'm hype. I popped off. I jumped off the stage and I screamed like, I didn't do a toy somersault roll or nothing. But, I'm in Wednesday night fights and I'm just screaming. I'm like, yo, like they have it easy out here. Like they'll have it easy. Coming from my soul.
Right. To some, they might have heard that as like a flippant, like, that's not a quote unquote nuanced statement to say they got it easy out here. So it is. It's like it's straightforward. Yeah, it might have been received a little negatively from someone on the West Coast, let's say,
which is completely understandable. But it's not like at that point I gotten in depth yet. So then I got on a mic. was able to clarify, what I was actually, what I was getting at. So for one, I'll just say that, especially like, what Valle did and everything. Okay. One, they deserve the opportunities that they have in general as a scene, because Valle, and I'm not sure as far as the rest of the history, but the OGs built up that scene to be as popular and as big as it is. They have something as huge as Wednesday night fights and everything. And that's a beautiful thing. And people can't help where they were born at. And they happen to have that platform. Then it is what it is. It's good for them. Now where the frustration comes in is it's no one's fault. But in the end of the day, you have it. Man, damn, the wording. How can I? In the end of the day, like I mean, because like, damn, I realize how easily shaken people are. But what I'm saying, this is what I'm gonna say, man. Like it is. What I'm saying is 100% facts, and this is stuff that we regularly talk about these things. Right. I'm shocked that this was like a viral thing, because this is how we talk behind the scenes.
These are just like, here's like the other thing that I was going to say, like with these things that you say that shake the foundation, the cores of people who are part of the FGC. Anytime you say it, I'm like, yeah, that's just how it be. Like that's how it is.
It's like, the truth. It's the truth.
This is like a very simple like thing. Come on, people. Like,
concept. It's not deep. Yeah, it's like, okay, so you mean to tell me that, for example, just a person comes to mind. You mean to tell me that Brian F. lives in California and does all this stuff? He's already big. He's already Brian F., right? I have my own fans and whatnot of RobTV or whatever, right? I'm doing my thing. I get on Street Fighter League, all that, cool. But if RobTV lives in California and goes to Wednesday night fights every week, all of a sudden I'm bigger than what I am right now, even if I did all the same things. Brian F. is bigger than he is right now. Justin Wong even tweeted this out, and of course, when Justin tweets it, it's okay. But God forbid, me of less clout,
right,
says the same thing. To now,
you of little followers.
Exactly. Just like I can say things that somebody of less followers can't say. It's a shame how that works. But outside of just being on stream for Wednesday night fights and things like that, which is already huge in itself, right. Outside of that, like when you see, this company sponsored this player, this company sponsored, all right, I want anybody to go on Google and look up X company headquarters.
Where at?
And I want you to tell me what fucking state it says that it's in. That doesn't matter. You're out of your damn mind. Right. Do you know how, we're adults, and what, business or just in general, and what part of life does connections not matter?
Yeah, zero.
Yeah, like, so obviously it means a lot if this, person who works for this company right down the street, and I can just come across them and I come across them in passing or something like that. To me, there's no coincidence that to me, I mean, not just to me, I shouldn't be trying to be politically correct. It is what it is. I'm gonna stand on it. Obviously, there's more opportunities for players in the West Coast, even if they're of similar skill or similar name. It's easier to build a name in the West Coast because of the platform. And even when we go outside of players and look at commentators and personalities, right. I don't see personalities and commentators from the Midwest, from the South. Nope. I don't see that. Huge names and commentating Capcom Cup events and all that type of stuff and being flown out. They're all live in California. And now, this is no slight, because all of those guys and everybody over there doing that, God bless them. Those are friends of mine. Like, I'm happy for them.
They're grinding out. They're putting in a lot of hard work. Like,
putting in a lot of hard work.
That's something that needs to be housed in this conversation, is that just because the connection is there and like the opportunity is there does not mean that the hard work is not there either. That's all part of it.
Yes, and that's what people were trying to ignore from my statement. So but in the end of the day, what we have to realize is, even if you're busting your ass 10 out of 10, if somebody else can be busting their ass 10 out of 10 as well, but they don't get the same results because they don't live there. So Unless I'm supposed to believe that, oh, the hardest working commentators and personalities live in California. Midwest not working as hard. Atlanta not working as hard. Texas not working as hard. Or am I to believe that, yeah, you have just as much personality over here, but you just don't live there with these certain people? You know, and another thing I want to bring up, and this is, damn, do I want to go there? Joe, fuck it, we're doing it. Let's go, okay. Joe. All right. So
let it rip.
So this is the thing, man, as far as psychology is concerned. Fans, I can put it. Okay, when they see you in a pictures with a certain person, with certain people, or they see certain people tweeting you out, or that you're friends with certain people, they start to associate you with those people. So their let's say clout, you kind of get like you bask in their aura of clout. Right. And you get a little piece of it yourself, right? So that's just like, for example, Lupe, I met Lupe on the show, on Challenger. He follows me on Twitter.
That's a good follow.
That's a good follow, right? Because when somebody goes to my page, and let's say they don't follow me yet, it says, it shows you who notable people who follow me. And one of the people you're going to see on there, like you're going to see Lupe Fiasco on there, among Problem X and Shein and XYZ. Even though I don't care about these things, I know that the people's even subconsciously they do care. So even if I do have, like, I'm friends with all these people in Cali and the biggest names in FGC and X, Y, and Z, right? But it's different being friends with somebody from across the country and living there. Because let's say I shoot, I make YouTube content, right? Right. So let's say I shoot a vlog here in Ohio or here in the Midwest. So let's say that vlog features now ex-DSC Hitman and Diablo Bison, right? These are, good friends, a couple good friends of mine. All right. Now let's say it features them. All of a sudden, even if it's the same fucking content, let's say I happen to be in Cali, and now instead I'm with somebody else who's a good friend of mine, Sherry Jennings, or Justin Wong, who I'm good friends with. Let's say my vlog is now with Sherry and Justin. Same content, and we say all the same words, and the personalities were the same. People are more likely to want to watch the video in Cali with Justin and Sherry.
That is 100%. That's 100% true of this show that people are listening to right now. Like if you, listener, are coming to this show after listening to last week's show with Long Island Joe, because Long Island Joe, popular guy, very popular guy, love him, he's great. If you've continued to listen to this because of that, this is exactly what Rob is talking about.
Exactly. And it's so frustrating to, like, because on one hand,
which is no shame to the viewers. Like, finding like good,
human.
It's no shame at all. Like, it's good content is good content. Yeah. It is out there. It's fine. But there's like a lot of it. It's hard to find. So you got to go to people who you trust. That's the whole psychology of it. Like,
right.
These people are part of the FGC. They're trusted. Like, there's some trust there.
For years. And that's when people say, like, oh, well, build your own Wednesday night fights. Yes, okay, I agree. And we are trying to build your own NLBC. And that's what everyone, of course, we're trying to do that. Like, shout out to Callisto in Chicago and all that. And Gwinnett Brawl down there in Atlanta. And Nober in Indianapolis. With God like Saturdays, now God like Fridays. Things like that. But what we have to understand is, there's something called goodwill in business. There's something called like skin in the game, right? Like, companies, when you buy your fucking mug root beer, it says since 1909. but Sporting Good, it says since 1842. That matters. Right. And God bless them for starting it that early. But no matter what, there's more backstory, so you're going to trust those people more. So being around those people that you trust more makes it so that it's gonna, you're gonna get opportunities, off of that. Right. And I just want to clarify, because I brought this up to you beforehand, like as far as a little prep for the show. I halfway didn't even want to touch on this topic, right, but I feel like I run a risk. I was telling Joe about this. Have cognitive dissonance because on one hand, I feel like if I talk about this too much, people can get the wrong idea and think that I'm complaining all the time or that I'm pressed on this. If I go out of my way, man, as far as like, I've busted my ass on making content and, giving people advice through direct messages and stuff like that, and winning tournaments and traveling on my own money with a fucking 1990 something car. And man, dude, so I'm busting my ass, bro. Like I'm not sitting here making excuses and not getting opportunities. I'm grinding. So don't think that I'm sitting here being some lazy ass dude and complaining. But I just feel like if I don't say anything, I'm letting down the other people who don't even have as much of a voice as I have.
Right.
So I kind of feel like I have to, if other people either are uncomfortable doing it or just don't have the voice to do it themselves.
Right. Or that they'll give up thinking that there isn't opportunity, because there is. There's things that you can do. You can put yourself out there. You got to hit the grind. You got to be out there doing it. Like the communities that you mentioned. Like I know that there's places literally all over the world who are putting in work week after week, who are putting on good shows. There's a whole list of them in the LFN. We've got them all listed on the sub and the wiki. Like I know they're out there. Or even like, but the other thing you got to think of is that like the two streams that are running major Capcom events are Level Up Live and Team Spooky.
Yeah, you talk. Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Like those are the two that are running it. So like so what got me was actually during the episode, the Street Fighter League that we just watched, where Up to Snuff is on stream, and this was a very flippant thing that makes total sense for someone to say, but Tasty Steve on mic says something along the lines of, "Oh yeah, Up to Snuff. He's coming up now. He's one of these new up and coming players." And me in my head thought like, no, that's not true. It's just that he hasn't been front and center on popular FGC streams to actually get his face out there. Like his stream at Evo, or his match at Evo 2 years ago, or like his, I don't even think he made the stream at Evo last year, but like I know he placed well. He placed well 2 years ago. He's been strong for a very long time. Or you look at something like this is historically true. You say players being put next to players who are in positions of like quote unquote high clout. Like, what do you think everyone was at? What show do you think everyone was trying to ask and get on 8-9 years ago, 7 years ago? They all wanted to be on Cross Counter. They wanted to sit on that couch with Gutex and Mike Ross. They wanted to be on that excellent
that
adventures.
Push you to a different level of legitimacy to people.
That's all.
And that can lead to more opportunities for you. Yeah, and that's the thing, So, and like I said, and it's like I bring up you bring up a good point with Up to Snuff. So at Capcom, at Canada Cup and what is the other one? Combo Breaker. I bodied those fucking tournaments last year. Now, obviously, I didn't win, but I
right.
killed that shit though.
Yeah, you did very good. You did very well.
Breaker, I got 17th, right, and that's when I beat John Takeuchi and Itabashi both on stream, right? So it was a big deal to people. Now at Canada Cup,
man, you took out Soroku. Get fucked.
right, my dude, he's killing it this year. He's killing it this year. That's my guy.
No, he's fucking rad. Shout out to Terrence.
Canada Cup, I beat, like I said, Terrence, Neon, Gamer B, J-Wall, all these people, and I got 13th. Placement. But we if a fan comes up to me in a tournament, they're way more likely to bring up Combo Breaker. No one brings up Canada Cup, actually.
No.
Off stream. So that's how important that visibility is. It doesn't even count.
Right.
If it didn't happen on stream.
And yet, so many, like I hear so many voices on the online fighting game community say that the FGC is a meritocracy. It only matters how good you do.
Hell no.
Fucking no. That's fucking wrong. That shit that actually just came up in a heated Reddit moment, not on our Street Fighter. I think it was on our Tekken, where someone was trying to call out UIU's Aru or her stream, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't look into it or get into it. I just saw her post about it on Twitter, but like basically people trying to call her out like she's not a professional player, she's just a streamer. It's like, yeah, but that shit doesn't matter. She's putting in a lot of work in
she's grinding.
Like she's doing her own grind that is different and separate from the tournament grind. Like those aren't necessarily, those are two different skills, obviously, but like the being
one is harder than the other or nothing like that.
Yeah, but like being on the tip of people's tongue when it comes to FGC conversations does not only rely on tournament numbers, like how it turns out. It just doesn't work that way.
And on that meritocracy thing, the one thing I like with not the one thing I like about the FGC, I love tons of shit about the FGC, but one of the things I do love is I think that this is about as close as you're gonna get, and it's still not a meritocracy. Right. That's like
yeah,
like I feel like the meritocracy part that part comes down to the fact that if you gonna go and do like what Punk and Taquitos doing and win the whole fucking tournament,
right
now it don't matter. They have to put you on stream.
Yeah,
you're winning money, even if they, so it is what it is. But 13th or 9th or something like that, you still body players. Like you still went to work, but it just doesn't matter if they don't put it on stream. And if you don't live in those certain areas, like, I mean, how many people watch Wednesday night fights every week, man?
Yeah. Cool. Sorry.
NLBC? Is that your dog?
Yeah, sorry about that. That's Brick. He wants to get on the podcast.
Agreed.
Yeah. He's howling out, he's shouting it out, man. No.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, but look at that. Look at see Brick trying to get his airtime. I feel, hey Brick, get it how you live, Brick.
Yeah, he trying to put his name on this show.
Put his name
He's got
out
more
there.
followers on Instagram than I do. What the fuck?
Yeah, come on now, bro. By the way, are you in the Midwest, Joe?
I'm from Pittsburgh.
Oh, damn, you a Steelers fan?
Western Pennsylvania, let's say. Like I kind of have to be in Steelers Nation, but like not really. More of a hockey fan,
okay.
Penguins fan.
Okay.
That'll piss more people off. But like I recognize that I can go to any city in America and find a Steelers bar. Like I get that. It's fucking out there. But yeah, Western PA, man. Not quite Midwest, but just about.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, but another thing as far as just this whole, was the whole like the coast to coast thing. And how you were saying, like, a lot of times where I'll rile people up or some shit like that, but or even if it's people agreeing or disagreeing or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think that it's worth noting that more towards how can I not trigger anyone? The type of culture that makes me ask, how can I not trigger one? With us moving more towards that culture, mm-hmm. There's a lot of pros and cons to it. Right. But as far as trying to come up as a player, I think that this whole esports stuff, it was a lot easier. Of course, we have it easier in the sense that we have Street Fighter League and all these opportunities thanks to the OGs building this. So I'm fully aware of that. Like these guys.
Yeah, there's a lot more people involved, or at least a lot more eyeballs on it.
They had to use damn VHS tapes and stuff like that. Like Sanford and Never Let Me Forget. The OGs always telling me about the old days, the dark ages.
Yeah, I mean, like, fucking look at people flip out last week over there was another camera angle of the Daigo parry. And, like, that fucking...
Really?
Yeah, you didn't see that? Mark Mann was like, oh, yeah, I found this camera that just happened to be on. And people were, like, blowing their minds, like, yo, we have another angle of the same moment that's been shared across all of social media.
Yo, I didn't know that.
But, everyone's, like, super excited about it because, like, there's more of this shit existing. What?
Right. So, but I would say one of the things I would say that we do have harder mm-hmm. is it's harder to really show your personality nowadays because I open my mouth to say things and give my true opinions and show people who I am as a person, love it or hate it. I don't just blend in with everyone else and you just see me as a player and it's just a good game. I won or lost. But that opens me up to have people say, "Oh, fuck that guy." Yeah, right. Brick is see. Some people probably offended by Brick, wilding out on the mic like that.
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna put you on mute, Brick. You need to stop that.
No, you're all good. But no, man. So I will say that it's kind of scary, and it's a shame just the level of which. Obviously, people shouldn't say no damn dumb shit. But like the things that I said on Wednesday Night Fights about the coach stuff, there's no way that anybody should have been fucking offended.
No.
By that, in my opinion.
No. Honestly, no. And I think that you've done a really good job of at least explaining the full breadth of your opinion. And it's not to lampoon anyone out there who's grinding and putting in the work. Like, Vicious is clearly out there doing so much work. I always see him being hypercritical of himself on Twitter, being like, I need to do a better job in this area of commentary. And it's like, wow, like...
He studies his craft.
Like, he's studying his craft. Are you out there studying your craft? Are you a commentator in the Midwest, not watching your own tapes, not listening to yourself and how you sound, not watching like other sports casting and trying to get take elements of what they might say during a baseball or a football game? Are you doing that? No.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not to. But anyway, we need to move on to other topics. It's episodes. It's funny that like you weren't lying. You came before you came on the show. You're like, I really don't want to talk about that moment all that much. And then 1 hour later, here we are.
Passionate about it, man. I'm so passionate about it. I can't fucking help it.
Nah, because the thing is that it's just having a passion for putting in the work, because the payoff, I think, is worthwhile. I don't know. Fighting games are like worthwhile. Like, I can't say that into a microphone enough to like let people know that like the shit is good, and the people out there who are putting in the work are good and worth watching. Like your content is worth watching. Brian F's content is worth watching. Lucky D's content is worth watching. Yeah. Anyway, we have to move on to something else that is happening this weekend. The mix-up is happening in Lyon, France.
That's definitely the mix-up.
Hey, don't listen to you on this one. Let's go to Punk for the results here. What's the seating there, folks? No, so if you've missed this, so how many CPT events have we had so far? It's been
I think we've had 5.
Like 5 CPT events, right? And Punk is at this tournament. He's ranked pretty high. Is he the number 1 seed of his pool?
And Punk is seeded number 6.
Mm-hmm. Like globally.
Now, he's at the mix-up.
At the mix-up,
he's seeded number 6. Globally, he's seeded number 1.
Right.
Let me see. Number 1 by a pretty wide margin, a decent wide margin actually.
Yeah, he's got points, and he's going to show up. And right now, he's ranked 6. So like, kind of what the fuck,
And this is, I was complaining at final round. About when it comes to CPT, man, like we were just talking about, it's already, it's hard for us to get sponsors out here and all that, of course, like, so we're like either, trying to raise money on streams or, saving up money from work, and, it's expensive to travel around trying to chase this thing. Right. But then you get there, you would like there to be more consistency from tournament to tournament.
Right.
And Capcom, love you guys and everything you're trying to, hey, appreciate you. Love the damn game. That being the case, man, we not have some consistent seeding. So let's go there, Joe. What is the mix-up using to seed this event?
They are using the results from Evo Japan.
Oh, yeah, so they're using last year and Evo Japan, though. They're using last year's CPT and Evo Japan.
A tournament that wasn't even on the CPT. It wasn't on the CPT. This is a completely separate, like, independent tournament, mind you. They're using seeding from that.
Second at r/Street Fighter online tournament, and I'd be damned if they don't seed me higher at the next CPT event. It's the online weekly. I don't understand why Punk got first, Chakotay got second,
Yeah.
At Frosty Boston's. Makes Evo Japan like so the fact that they have the opportunity to just pick and choose like that,
right,
makes no.
Yeah, like there's rules in the CPT that don't allow for certain behavior, right? Like there's certain requirements for setups, there's certain requirements for the stream as to like how things are even run, but we can't get requirements on how it's seated.
And that stuff is, and I see people, man, like, it hurts my soul sometimes, man. I see people, whenever any of us say something on Twitter, making any complaint, either, esports made these players soft, just show up and play and shut up.
Yeah.
Like, for one, there's a lot of money on the line, like just straight up and down. There's a lot of money on the line.
There's a lot of money on the line to get there in a lot of cases. Like Punk is traveling to France to be there at that event.
Yes. 11-hour flight or something like that, man. Yeah. And these are players that are, don't go to tournaments or anything, and they go and the player when they make any type of complaint. Like, I don't know if people know about, have you heard of Bobby Fischer before, the chess player?
Yeah. Yeah.
That guy was extreme, dude. Like, he was taking pictures with the cameras flashing and, the temperature a certain way, the ceiling fan too loud, and so on and so forth. Now, obviously, that's extreme, but you can't argue with the man's results. He's arguably the greatest chess player of all time.
Yeah.
People really don't see. That's like, do people know why Taquito is taking a damn tape measure and getting a perfect distance, and he's breathing a certain way? Sheehan always like moves his hair a certain way. There's all kind of different things that people do, like, and it's all comes out like sports psychology, but.
Yeah, in preparation for becoming or trying to become the best. It's all part of it.
Man, it's like I go to a tournament. It's like I don't know if I'm sure you remember. There was like BenQ Zowie, the official monitor of the Capcom Pro Tour. So I'm sitting here and I got 2 damn BenQs in front of me right now as we speak.
Yeah, why not? Why not play on tournament standard? Why play on anything different? Because why play on PC?
Man, but then I go to a tournament and we're using a different fucking monitor. Come on, like, that's a legitimate complaint. Yeah. Why is it I go to Final Round and I look at and I'm not just trying to shit on Final Round, but just, this is like an issue with TPT event. It was, some of them. Right. But why do I go to Final Round and I look at the seating and there's players for Capcom Pro Tour points then I placed better than all last year. I'm seeded to go fucking 0-2.
Right.
There was tournaments where like Toy he's close to making it into Capcom Cup, and he's unseated at the damn event.
Crazy.
Yeah. But you mean it?
Or the other thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I'm just gonna make this. I know we're already off this topic, but I want people to just. And I forgot who brought this up to me. But you mean to tell me if Terrence killing this year, right?
Yeah.
So you don't think he would have a higher chance of getting sponsored soon, or if he lived in California with these same results he's getting?
You better get a Lacoste sponsorship by the end of the year. That's all I'm saying.
Come on.
Give that man a polo sponsorship.
Get him in a Ralph Lauren. Yeah, definitely.
He'll get that guy in contact with the right people.
Dude, but the funny thing is, I don't think I ever really see him double up the polos though, man.
No, he only needs one. He's big.
Like, how many colors are there? Like, I cannot think of a time like there. I remember he busted out this lime green. He busted out the lime green.
Yeah, I seen the lime green. He
busted out the lime green. I was like, oh wow, you totally different. Like, you really going Hollywood on this, man. Like, you get the lime green polo. But yeah, but
wear it one time and burn it. He done with it. One appearance.
I think so. I remember seeing like back when they had like MTV Cribs and like they had Dame Dash on one of the episodes. The rappers are being all extreme, and he takes his t-shirts and he's like, yeah, after he took his t-shirt off and just threw it in the trash and grabbed the new one out the pack. And he's like, yeah, you know, I don't wash clothes. Like, I don't need to do that. I just put on a new one. I think that's what Terrence does with the polos.
I fucking miss
MTV
Cribs. That era of live television. That was very, very special. They really ought to do a FGC Cribs. Those episodes would be a lot more.
Oh my God, FGC. Bro, FGC fucking Cribs. Yeah. Oh my God, the fans' perception of us would be fucking shattered.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude.
This player, he's a top player. He plays first at all these tournaments. Where he living?
Oh my
his
God.
mattress is on the ground, huh? Interesting. I see.
Like, we are not fucking esports, bro. Oh
no. There's way too many stories of players. Even I saw Adele tweet, maybe it was like a couple days ago, being like, I still haven't gotten paid for a tournament 6 months ago. Like, that
feels so bad.
That shit don't happen here. Like, they don't get paid. Players or people who...
Yeah, I remember David was on Twitter talking about, like, you know, even the commentators, they'll get paid 6 months late, 8 months late.
Yeah, that ain't a way to live, folks. If you're banking on a check coming in 6 months late.
Hey, if we win Street Fighter League, can we please, if Capcom's listening, can we please like not get paid 6 months, like, 6 months late?
Yeah, here's the check. Wait to the end of the month on that one. By the way,
man.
No, actually, this is something that I didn't realize how much money was on. Like, kind of going back to that. Was this the first week where they actually said how much was on the line? Have they talked about that at all before this week?
They talked about it last week they did talk about it last week, but I don't know if anyone outside of us participants knew. Like, I saw it in the contract and stuff. And the thing is, like, so for those who don't know, it's like $30K for first place. And I think $15K for second place and $6K for third place.
Right.
And can I say in the contract? I mean, I guess it's not like this is anything like crazy, but basically we were told it's going to be $10K if you win. So I'm up here like, does that mean $10K per person or like $10K split? Yeah. Right. And I'm on $10K per person. I'm like, oh hell no! Like,
that's a lot of fucking money.
I'm like, oh fuck that! I'm going for the throw 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. I definitely need that $10K.
Yeah. Give me an amount of money that'll fuck up my taxes. Let's go.
Oh, please. But yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of money on it, man. I think, and you know, I think that's actually important too from a spectator. Like, obviously, I'm happy as a player, but from a spectator standpoint, people like seeing people play for money. That's like Capcom Cup is hype as fuck, dude. It's $250K. Like, you really about to make a guess on Wake Up right now?
Stakes is
for
high.
$250,000. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever it's like that moment, the one time where it like really where that moment sinks in, I think is best 2 years ago when Mena won, and it's washing over him like, fuck, I just won Capcom Cup. Like, it's gonna happen from my scene. I'm gonna make it happen for my community. Like, it was just that whole moment of it being like, I got change your life money right now.
Dude, look, bro.
Like,
I'm so far from esports right now that don't let my team win this 10K. Don't let us. You gonna think, bro? You gonna think I would hit the fucking lottery? I never won no damn 10K for a tournament or nothing.
No,
like
we see the RobTV Cribs next week, and you just throwing away T-shirts. It's right.
Yo, you know how to be fucking godlike, man. If Terrence get on a fucking team or something like that, and then he like, you can win like a signed polo. How to be fucking godlike, dude?
Hell yeah. Honestly,
yo,
that's something
I can give away. Like, I can give away like a signed durag or something like that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's something that like the FGC doesn't necessarily do a lot of, but like non-endemic sponsorships of like non fighting stick related or esports related or like racing car chair related, because that's the only way to game. But just like regular shit sponsorships, like I honestly feel like, I don't know, get Long Island Joe sponsored by JanSport. Like, everybody fucking uses JanSport backpack. They're great for carrying sticks. You might say, ooh, well, it doesn't protect the actual stick. Get 2 T-shirts, shove it in there. Guess what? You have a backpack that's capable of carrying your stick to and from events for like $10. Get fucked.
Everything doesn't. That's like Up to Snuff was saying. he brought up a good point at Street Fighter League. He was saying like Tostino sponsorship.
Yeah. Holy Tostino.
That's a good idea. Like McDonald's, I mean not McDonald's, but like microwave food and shit like that. That's some stereotypical gamer shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, that's like the Holy Totino's moment from Ultra David. Fucking what event was that? Totino's did sponsor an event fucking years ago. Anyway, it has been stricken from my mind, except for the meme is the only thing that exists. But
yeah.
Anyway, that's another conversation. But anyway, let's reel things back. Let's put this shit back on the rails. Listen,
I want to come back on here, bro. I fuck with you heavy, man. Like you're mad cool, Joe. I want to come back on here at some point.
Listen, we had there was like 6 topics here. We talked about like 2, and like I'm not gonna dig into.
I'm a talker, bro. I don't know.
That's like that's the theme of this podcast is, well, let me diverge for a minute. Let's talk about it. That just fucking happens, man. But I do have to end this podcast. It's getting late for me. So I want to throw it back out to you and just say, is there anything else that we didn't get to talk about that you would want to touch upon before we end the show? Give you the mic again to see if there's anything else that's out there you got going on.
So for one, I don't want to just be cliche and say, support your local. All of those sound good, but
hashtag support your local.
Truthfully though, it is what it is. Like, I would say appreciate your locals, man. Like, there's so many places I go, and they don't even have a local scene. And there was a time when I didn't have a local scene, and all I had was online. And so, that's, if you do have a scene, appreciate that. And even if you don't, a shout out to the Reddit Street Fighter online weekly. I really think it's dope what you guys do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, bro. I mean, seriously, man. Like, you guys actually have your actual Reddit page. On the whole podcast, you have or a radio show, I should say, tournaments, and then you actually post highlights and stuff. That I can say as a player, that's the type of stuff that actually means a whole lot to us.
I think it's super important because those are the like, why run a tournament if I can't highlight the players? I'm not here trying to promote myself. I'm not trying to make money from a stream. Fuck all that shit. I'm trying to get people out there, get the excitement out there, because there's hot shit happening every week, honestly.
And see, bro, and I can say that, like, genuinely, obviously a lot of people, know about r/Street Fighter now and all that stuff. But even still, I really hope that bigger and bigger in the scene, to the point of, I don't know if you're interested in like hosting or commentary, or even just, the stuff that you're currently doing and keeping that stuff growing and huge and be like specifically profitable and all that shit down the line. Because I think what you're doing is like, it's an amazing thing, and you're actually a genuine dude. So
you're making me blush now. Come on.
Yes, but I'm just being honest, man.
I sincerely appreciate that. I do. I jest, but
and again, as I always gotta say, shout out to all my damn Midwest homies, Midwest. I think we are the best region in the states. Anybody can see us in a team tournament, and I guarantee we washing y'all point blank. Period. I love y'all though, but it's competition. It is what it is. We're gonna cook y'all. And I just want to see more opportunities for all my guys over here. And if anybody, like, any company reps or anything like that is listening right now, I'm telling you, we have, we have plenty of personality out here. People like myself who are willing to content and do outside of just going to a tournament, win or lose and go home, man. Like, I can go and vlog and push products and things of that nature. And there's other people out there like Dual Kevin, Just a Kid, so on and so forth, that are busting their ass too. So hopefully you guys take more notice to these other regions, and that also goes for the South and Atlanta and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, with Just a Kid, you might have to talk to his mom and dad to get them to sign the paperwork. Honestly,
that's true. That's true.
I'm just giving him shit. Like, he is. He
is. He's hilarious.
Not trying to blow smoke or anything. He all right. He good.
Just kid, you kind of trash actually. You suck.
We'll see. We'll see next week, perhaps.
Yeah. That's true.
All right. Well, in any case, I think that'll do it for a show. But before you go, I can't let you go without asking you a line of questioning here. It's a question that I ask everyone who comes on the show. It is a question that comes in two parts, and I think that you can tell a lot about a person from how they answer this question. But the first part,
Art.
I think so. Is what is your favorite normal attack in any fighting game?
Kuma sweep in Street Fighter 4.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
Sweep in Street Fighter 4.
Ooh, Akuma's sweep. Okay.
That shit was busted as hell.
Yeah.
And it was very fast.
Yeah.
I think it was even safe at some ranges if I remember correctly. Safe
Trust
on
me,
block.
I've blocked a lot of Akuma's sweeps and then just had to hold that shit. Honestly.
You just gotta hold it. But if it hits, you gotta guess per game, like into the vortex. So yeah. Probably Akuma sweep or Karen stand medium kick right now. Street Fighter 4.
Ooh. Why the stand medium kick? What's the utility of that?
FNEX Raven. It's got him Kaizen Master and FNEX Raven. They're the guys who taught me Street Fighter to a high level originally, like in Street Fighter 4.
Right.
And Raven is a Chun-Li player. So, I'm all Akuma. I'm mixing people up and doing all that shit. And Chun-Li, you had to play super clean in Street Fighter 4. Like, she wasn't cheap at all. I mean, she's not cheap now. She was only season 1 she was. But that's how he played. So when Street Fighter 5 came out, I was so inspired by his style that when I saw Karen stand medium kick in like a trailer or something like that, that move alone made me want to pick up Karen.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man, she must be like a footsies character. So that stand medium kick alone is the reason that I'm a Karen player to this day. I
mean, you're not wrong. That is true. I think she is pretty heavily footsie and gets rewarded for it, too.
It's dope. As far as just the utility of it, it's a fireball, man. It's like something I talked to Samurai about, man. Like, you use it in the same way. I stand medium kick, and it's not the damage that it does. It's the mental damage.
Mm-hmm. It's the space on the screen that it covers more than the damage that it does. Yeah.
I stand medium kick, and I say they block it, and I just whiff punish the shit out of the next thing they do. Or I sit there and I anti-air them after they jump because they want to get around the footsies, or they tired of those options. So all of a sudden I do stand medium kick and I'm minus, but I dash anyway.
Yeah, because they don't know. They've run out of options. They've run out of good ideas. So you fuck them up for it.
Yeah, so I definitely stand medium kick. Karen stand medium kick, Akuma sweep.
All right, good answers. And then that leads into the second part of the question, which is, what's your favorite combo in any fighting game?
Damn.
Yeah, this could go a lot of directions, and it doesn't even have to be a combo that you can do personally. It could be something that you've seen other people do in other games that you don't even play.
Damn.
Yeah, this could be. This one is.
I'm just picturing all the desk stuff in my mind right now.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like desk. Are you serious?
There's a lot out there.
Has anyone ever seen desk? Is that a human? Like, I don't. There's no way. The stuff that he was like the bot. You know what combo another combo I'm thinking about. Remember, Abel could do like step kick or he could do like an infinite.
Yeah.
That was pretty stupid. Akuma stand roundhouse loop.
Yeah,
that stuff was godlike. Damn, but a favorite combo. And I don't. Damn it. That's a hard question, bro.
It could be tough. But desk combos were really good. It was like
I'm gonna say desk combos, man. I can't pick one, but desk combos were dumb.
Man, it's funny that you say that because, and it's something that I think is important in the way that you, like, even the way that you said that was desk combos were dope. Because I mean, he did post a video recently of Street Fighter.
Oh, did he?
He did. But it's like Street Fighter V stuff, and it's like the quote unquote popular games that are like quote unquote getting clicks. However, Street Fighter V is like not a broken game whatsoever. Like it's just not broken like older fighting games.
So there's not going to be these crazy cool cool combos and all that type of stuff.
Or like weird exploits that are like, I don't know, like this combo only works in this situation off of a meaty situation that's only set up from this kind of knockdown. It like there's crazy shit that goes on, like the Abel loop is only like possible on like a DJ in the corner, or these Chun-Li lightning leg loops are only possible in this situation.
There were combos that you could only do on Sagat, or you could only do on Abel. Like Akuma could do like I think you could like crouch medium punch Abel 3 times.
Mm-hmm. And that shit just doesn't exist in like most modern fighting games. Aren't really like that.
Yeah.
At least the 2D ones aren't like. But at the same time, you have to like look back at like Street Fighter 4 and be like, the hitboxes in that game were entirely fucked up. I haven't had Hatson on the show to talk about this, and if I ever do, I'll talk to him about the history of like why that is, because of the way that game was built and then patched like very close to around lunchtime before they like I'm gonna use air quotes fixed the hitboxes, because it was still like super fucked. But that is a long story, and I think that it led to some really, I'm just gonna say funny situations, but I'm for it. I'm for shit being weird.
It was interesting. That stuff it was definitely it calls for some hype stuff. As a competitor, I prefer stuff to be as stable as possible.
Right.
But as a spectator, that shit was definitely hype. The combos are hype as fuck.
Yeah, you want to see someone do like a Hugo clap combo that lasts all fucking day. Or like, I'm sorry that you played DJ, because guess what? This combo's gonna last all day, because his hurt box is like his hand reaches out just far enough. You just catch him on the glove. But anyway, I think that's a solid answer, because those are hype combos that, like, from a spectator's point, are like, man, this is buck wild shit that I'm not even sure that the person doing this is human. Real talk.
Seriously.
He is a real human. He just doesn't go out to actual tournaments. That was like the weird thing when he posted those videos, that people were like, man, he must be like the best player. Why doesn't he go to tournaments and get results? And it's like, yo, guys, doing combos is not fighting. This is not fighting games.
Oh my God. People do not. And that's when people talk about, the skill ceiling is lower in Street Fighter 5. Just because the execution. Yeah, like the stuff that made Daigo godlike.
Right.
In Street Fighter 5. Like, side, the meta, downloading a player, things like that.
Yeah. Execution of combos is not equal to execution of fundamentals. Those are two, like, in my opinion, completely separate things. But
execution is a skill.
Yeah.
In the overall skill tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a path you want. If you want to go down the Sako path, you go right ahead.
Right, exactly.
All right. Anyway, I think that'll do it for a show. RobTV, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure having you on.
Bro.
Where can people find you on the internet?
You can check out my YouTube videos. Look at RobTV Gaming on YouTube. On Twitter is at RobTeeVee, or if you just search RobTV, it'll pop up. Is RobTV Live. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Word. And you can find me at Super Joe Monday or at Reddit SF on Twitter. Again, this show is every Thursday night, or actually like every Thursday morning. It's only Thursday night this week because we wanted to talk about this shit. Then I would say look out for the tournaments on Fridays for the West Coast and Mondays for the East Coast, and look forward to the player sponsorship concluding tomorrow at noon Eastern time. It's
vote for Mike Too Strong.
Do it. I mean, I don't have an opinion on that. But if I did, I might encourage you to do that, to watch a boy out there dunking people. All right, folks, that's a show. Thank you for joining us on another edition of RSF Radio. But until next time, take care.